So a lot of you have been waiting for a full auto MG42 with 100 rounds, and in this update, we are getting that. And a lot of you German mains are going to be extremely happy, and as well, enlisted main in general, I'm very happy that we got the MG42 100 because, well, we've been waiting for it for a long time. In today's video, we're going to be covering the MG42 100, and without further ado, let's just get started because there's no further need for an introduction. The MG42 history time was developed as an improvement of the MG34 with the ease of mass production, using a short recoil system with a bolt locking mechanism parallel to the Stecke. The MG42 required fewer materials and less time to produce, about 75 man-hours compared to the 150 for the MG34, being cheaper and more durable, so that's good. Adopted in 1942 and tested by its predecessor, the MG34-41, it became a cornerstone of the German military. About 400,000 were produced, and if you want to know more history, just go to my MG42, the regular MG42 video. This is the MG42 100, of course. And without further ado, let's just move on to the stats, because pretty much everything that I'm going to say is pretty much exactly the same as the regular MG42. The only difference here is the 100 round magazine, but the hit power is still 13.2, the muzzle velocity is 750, rate of fire of 990, reload time of 5.6, recoil control of 10, vertical of 16, horizontal of 17, so that's actually pretty good. And of course, the main selling point of this, compared to the regular MG42, is that this has 100 rounds, which is actually pretty insane. So, without further ado, let's just move on to the verdict, because I don't think there is much needed to explain here, because this is an MG42, and this is only MG42, is the difference is that this has 100 rounds. So that's that. The first thing I'll start with is the fact that I do think this is a very good machine gun. This should come as absolutely no surprise to anyone who has used the MG42. The only difference with the regular MG42 is that it has the 100 round magazine. I've said this probably 3 times, but I do think this 100 round magazine, or should I say belt, is much more better for the MG42 100. Simply is because you have more rounds and you don't have to reload that often. Meaning you can just essentially go down and just mow down people. And when I mean mow down people, I actually mow down people. Some of the things that I really enjoy this thing is that if you bipod this, it has absolutely no recoil. Think of the MG42 as the exact same MG42 that you find on the beaches of Normandy that are in the bunkers. This is exactly that, but it has 100 rounds, and that is insane. I actually find myself mowing people down, especially if they don't realize you, and especially if they don't know where they're going, so that's that. In my personal opinion, this is much better than the MG42, like I said for the 4th time already, and I do think it's a very good gun. Some of the tactics I suggest that you guys adopt is that moving while firing. Although moving while firing is hard for most machine guns, the MG42 somewhat gets away with that, mainly because of the fire rate. The fire rate is just way too dang high, and that's actually a good thing for the MG42, because if you can just fire while moving, it is almost guaranteed that one shot hits your enemy, and because one shot would hit your enemy, you're almost guaranteed to die, because this is after all a machine gun. While using this as a stationary weapon, firing in burst, because if you fire it in full auto, at first it'll be normal, but if you keep firing it, there will be a thing called dispersion, and you don't really want to have that, especially if you have an MG42 that's not bipoded down. When you actually do bipod this thing down, you will actually find this has pretty much 0 recoil, which is insanely good. That said, when clearing buildings, this is almost a gun that is very good for clearing buildings because, once again, you have 100 rounds, and once again, that fast fire rate with that 100 rounds is just gonna mow down people. The only issue I potentially see with this is the run speed. The run speed is a little bit problematic, and the reload rate is also a little bit problematic, but fortunately, unlike the MG42 regular, you essentially have 100 rounds, so once again, that's great. I honestly do think, out of the entire update, this is the best gun that I've actually personally enjoyed. I absolutely enjoyed this. So that's that. Without further ado, congratulations guys, we got the MG42 100. I'm excited to use it on people. So that's that. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the battlefield.